All right, so today we're going to go through all of the ins and outs of Flipgrid and just a few highlights to show all of the cool things that Flipgrid can do. I have created kind of an extra account here so you guys can see just some of the basics of what we can play around with Flipgrid. So once you're in, remember Flipgrid is all free. You're going to log in, you can sign in with Google or with your Microsoft account or just a regular email. And once you're in, your screen will look something like this. It won't have any of the titles in there quite yet, but you're able to choose a group. So you create a group, and then I labeled mine middle school, and once I was in there, you have your topic. So it's kind of like a dashboard. It has all the information that you're going to need. And right from there, you can start creating. So as a teacher, you can set up students with topics that they can discuss. You can put in projects. You can put in all kinds of great things for students to be able to create their videos around. So when you're there, you're going to find the button that says topic. And once you click on that, you can create your topic. So maybe today we're going to talk about podcasting. And I want my students to test out what podcasting is like. So let's try it out. And we can see what everybody can create from there. What's fun is that you can set times for your students. So if you want to do more like a commercial, they can set it at 15 seconds all the way up to 10 minutes. So you can pick and choose the length you want students to work on this. Sometimes I add extra time, even if I don't think students will go that long, just so they have the opportunity to. But if you really want to keep it short and sweet, you can lock them out at 15 seconds, and that's all as far as they can go. Other cool things, you can import different images from your computer if you want to load different things in. You can add videos, maybe giving directions, which is really helpful. That way students have you explaining their directions. Of course, they have all kinds of stickers and emojis, and you can put in all kinds of cute pictures. Maybe we'll put a unicorn in to that podcast. So we have a super cool unicorn. If I don't like it, I can just close out of that, delete it, pick something else. You can, again, upload videos, add YouTube videos, different integrations, and add other attachments. I have found when you add attachments in, if you're adding any kind of document in there or additional information, or maybe students need a printout that goes along. If we're going to do a podcast, maybe they need to have a script that they need to follow, so you could add that attachment into there. So whatever you choose, you can add those in for students. Let's find maybe a fun expression. We're going to add that in, and that just goes right into directions. So I'm going to have my students go up to, let's say, 5 minutes today, and we can go ahead and post the topic. So it's available. And what's also great is when you're posting topics, then you can choose to drop them right into Google Classroom. You can use a QR code if you want to, embed it, use Microsoft Teams. So there's a lot of different options, and just copy that link and you can share it. So it's easy, super easy to share with your students. When you're done with that, and you're ready to go, you can have your students load information right in. You can also import, export things and join codes and all that kind of stuff. If I want to share it out, you saw those buttons before, you can come back to them. And if you want to edit or hide the topic, maybe you don't want your students to have access to it right away. You want to give them directions first. You can hide it and bring it back. There's just a lot of different choices you can pick from. If I want to go back, I can click on middle school because that's the topic that I created. And I have it right into there. So all of mine are back into my dashboard. And you can just add topics and then give it to your students. You can also choose if you want to edit them, if you want them to be active or view only. So maybe you have students, they have a deadline where they need to put their information in, and then you can switch it over to view only. That's why everyone can see the videos, but they can't make any edits or changes to them. Let's go into if we go into one of our student topics, and you can see that maybe kids have started answering, and you can go through as a teacher and watch their videos, which is awesome. But also you can go as a member view. When you click on this, then you can see what the students do. And from there, you can add your own response in or kind of just see how they add responses in, which is fun. From the student's point of view, if you click add response, hey everybody, you can see all the different choices that they have to put into their videos. So if I go into effects and I want to give myself a sticker, I can put it right over my face, especially if I'm a student that's uncomfortable and I don't want people to see my face. I can drop a kitten right over there, which I know a lot of students do because they don't always feel comfortable on camera, which is understandable. You have backdrops, so not in the office, but we're going to switch out and let's see. We're going to have a party. We're going to have some confetti in the background. And as you can see, there is tons of choices. So you can imagine if you need to give your students extra time for backgrounds, or maybe they get a 30-second, pick a background, switch it out, or you can put those directions in depending on your topic and your choices. So it looks like I've got some sort of strawberries and gaming going on here. I can add other effects. So if I want to add text or filters or frames, I can do that. So we can just layer pictures on top of pictures. You can imagine how creative kids can be, especially if they're making videos and different choices. Like they can do all kinds of creative things to make movies this way. Also in effects, which is kind of cool, we're going to close out of frames. If you have students that are explaining math problems or walking you through a step-by-step process, maybe they're sharing information, you can choose to have a board in the background, kind of lines or grid. And then once there's a board there, they also can have the pen and you can pick your color and then they can explain. So if they're doing some math or they're doing a drawing or they need a diagram, they can do that right into their board behind them, which is awesome for students explaining videos and things like that. You can hit clear, takes it right out of there for you. Under options, you also have the choice to upload other video clips. You can do mic only. So for kids that are uncomfortable, or if we're doing this podcast project, then you can see that the audio is working, but you are not going to be seeing their face. A lot of times I have students, if they're just going to do voiceovers, to put this in, and they can add other images and things like that. So that way there's maybe a visual, but it's not going to be the student on video. You have choices too. If we switch back from mic only, you can click mute, and then you can record screen, which is what we're doing actually right now, is I'm using Flipgrid as a screen recorder today. And that way I am able to, I'm hitting all my back buttons here, which is kind of cool. I'm using Flipgrid as my video recorder today instead of Screencastify. So that way everyone can kind of see the different options you have with your choices in Flipgrid. So just a lot of options. Students can then redo. You can swap out where you are on the screen. Again, lots of ways students can play around it and be creative with their recordings, which is fantastic. Once we get to this, we can just cancel out of that. I am right back into where I gave my student directions. If I loved my video, I could have added my response right in, and it'll go right back to your homepage then. What's awesome is about this is that you can then see which students have responded, who's got their information turned in, who needs to keep on working, and back to groups where we kind of started with everything. So many options in Flipgrid, so many ways to create and share information with students and have them share with you. It's also great for staff professional development. One teacher can pose a question and others can just create a video to respond to them, which is fantastic. So check out all of the different options in Flipgrid. You have so many choices and there's such great ways to set things up in your classroom. It's easy to use and it is free. So check that out and see what you can create.